Beneath Egypt's burning sands lie tombs no one dares to open, not because of traps, but because of the names carved into their walls. Names of gods so feared that even the ancient Egyptians whispered them only in silence. But tonight, we will read those names. In recent years, a team of archaeologists in southern Egypt, near Luxor, the ancient city of temples, discovered an underground tunnel marked with signs of unknown gods. On the walls were images of beings with the bodies of lions and the faces of humans, yet the names written beside them appeared in no historical record. One of these figures showed a creature whose eyes stared out from beneath a white shroud, and beneath it was written, Medjed, the one who sees even when unseen. Medjed, the observer or the striker, the invisible punisher god. Medjed is mentioned only once in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, a ghost-like entity that could pass through walls, fly, shoot deadly beams of light from its eyes, and breathe fire to burn the souls of the guilty. Archaeologists still don't know if he was a true deity or simply a manifestation of the Egyptians' fear of the unknown. But in ancient papyri it is written, he moves in silence and with a single glance destroys the one who is unworthy. Medjed, recently rediscovered, was said to be the guardian of Osiris and would even punish other gods. Strangely enough, today Medjed has become unexpectedly popular in Japan, appearing in anime and video games. Perhaps because humanity still fears the unseen that watches from the dark, and this god embodies the terror of the invisible. At the heart of Egyptian mythology lies the court of Osiris, the place where the souls of the dead are judged. There, a person's heart is placed on a scale, weighed against the feather of the goddess of truth, Mat, the deity of justice and cosmic order. If the heart is light, the soul enters paradise. But if it is heavier, filled with sin, a creature waits in silence. Ammit, the devourer of the dead. Ammit was a hybrid of three sacred yet dangerous animals. The crocodile's head to devour, the lion's body for strength, the hippopotamus' legs for stability. Imagine the scene. A soul stands before the gods, its heart trembling on the scale, and Ammit, with glowing red eyes and an open, hungry jaw, watches. If the scale tilts toward guilt, she strikes, and in an instant, she consumes the heart and erases the soul forever. No hell, no reincarnation, only eternal oblivion. Ammit symbolized ruthless justice and ultimate punishment, described in ancient texts as the eater of hearts. People rarely prayed to her appearance was too terrifying, but she guarded the balance between Ma'at, order, and Isfet, chaos. In contrast to Ammit, there is a deity who may seem comical at first glance, but possesses ancient power. Bes, the dwarf god with a terrifying face, protector of homes and children. Bes was a guardian of households, pregnant women, and infants. Unlike gods worshipped in grand temples, he lived among ordinary people. Small statues of him were placed by beds or in children's rooms to ward off evil spirits. He had a long beard, his tongue stuck out, and his large eyes seemed to laugh, an appearance more like a demon than a god, intentionally designed to frighten malevolent forces. It is said that when evil spirits approached a home, Bes would dance, shout, and beat his drum to drive away fear. He was the god of joy, music, dance, and even war, with a special responsibility for pregnant women and newborns. Ancient texts describe how Bes, together with the goddess Taweret, the hippopotamus-headed goddess of childbirth, protected a pregnant woman from a witch's curse. With dancing, shouting, and drumming, they chased the demons away, and the woman gave birth to a child who later became a high priest. Bes, likely originating from Nubia or the Near East, faded from memory with the rise of new religions and major deities like Isis, yet his presence remains in old Egyptian homes. And in the murals of Deir el-Medina, symbolizing protection of the family and joy amidst darkness. Among the gods of light and justice, there is one who blurs the line between good and evil, Shesmu, the god of wine, oil and execution, with two faces, gentle and savage. In the pyramid texts, he is described as having dual aspects. By day, he produces sacred oil for the gods and for festivals. By night, he becomes the heavenly butcher, crushing the heads of enemies in his press and turning their blood into wine. In one legend, Osiris commands Shesmu to destroy the souls of traitors. Shesmu replies, "I make wine from grapes, and justice from blood, with the head of a lion or a hawk." He symbolizes the balance between life, wine and oil, and death, slaughter and blood, and he played a role in embalming rituals. At that time, people believed that every power had two faces, creative and destructive. Shesmu served as a reminder that even light, if merciless, can spill blood. In later periods, when Egypt moved toward Christianity, the worship of Shesmu was banned. His dark aspect was considered too fearsome, yet his name still remains inscribed on temple walls, marked by traces of red that may be blood, or merely the color of Egyptian soil. Menhit, the lion-headed goddess of war, she who massacres, was a deity with the head of a lion and a body of gold, symbolizing battle and the scorching sun. She appeared on the battlefield, her breath turning sand into storms. They said that when Egypt's enemies approached, Menhit would rise from the heart of the desert, and her scream would turn armies to ash. Originating from Nubia, ancient Kush, Menhit was the wife of Anhur, the god of war, and was associated with other lioness deities such as Sekhmet, goddess of vengeance, and Neith, goddess of war. Later, she was merged with Sekhmet and her identity faded into history. Only a few traces of her have been found in a temple in Sudan, where she is depicted hunting celestial demons. Menhit was a symbol of protection for the pharaoh and Egypt against invaders. And her name, meaning she who massacres, struck fear into the hearts of her enemies. Today, thousands of years later, when we look at the giant Giza pyramids, the eternal symbols of Egypt, we only see glory and grandeur. But behind every stone, every carved relief, and every hidden papyrus, the name of a forgotten god like Shesmu or Menhit lies concealed. They were the embodiment of humanity's deepest fears, fear of sudden death, eternal darkness, hidden sins, and the need for salvation and protection. Gods like Medjed, with his death-dealing gaze, Ammit, the Devourer of Souls, Bez, the smiling protector, Shesmu, the god of blood and wine, and Menhit, the desert slaughterer, were only a few among more than 500 Egyptian gods, many of them local and tied to the darker edges of life. With the rise and fall of empires, the Greek and Roman conquests, and later the spread of Christianity, they were buried in the sand. But recent discoveries such as newly found papyri or lost tombs are reviving their voices once again. Perhaps the reason ancient Egypt has endured for so long is this: they never truly destroyed anything. They merely buried it in the sand, waiting for someone like us to hear it again. The forgotten gods of Egypt aren't just old stories, they are mirrors of our own fears and beliefs. From Ammit, who displayed justice through the jaws of a monster, to Bez, who protected homes with a smile. Each one reminds us that the line between light and darkness has always been razor thin. If you enjoyed this deep and shadowed journey into the sands of time, hit like, don't forget to subscribe, and tell me which forgotten god fascinated you the most. Perhaps Ammit with her terror, or Shesmu with his bloody secrets. Until the next episode, where we'll uncover even more secrets of the ancient world. The secrets stay with you.